Traders War Room proudly presents the daily video with the best trading and investing alerts anywhere on any platform. With up-to-date stock, chart, and market news, TWR is simply your one-stop shop. Thirsty Thursday and Lotto picks. It's Mayday, and you know how we like to rock it. So may the 4th be with you, and go ahead and get your TWR 33% discount for the All Access Pass. Link is in the description. Join today and quit wasting that money that's not making money. Stay tuned at the end for TWR Hot Products and Services. Comments from the front line. All right, today I'm highlighting two of our people. We got Yoga by the Doc. She's talking about our TWR daily live trading shows and basically saying that she's been making consistent money from the stocks that one of our analysts, Shiner, he's actually a co-owner of TWR, goes over in the pre-market show. So thank you for that. It's one of the reasons why we do those pre-market shows is so that we can absolutely get you guys the best information before the market really starts to ramp up at the bell. And here's another one, G4 Trader. He's talking about the bell-to-bell live trading show and the pre-market show, but he says he has to jump on the bandwagon because he's been in the PM shows and the LTR, which is the live trading room, and Shiner drops a lot of knowledge. Guys, if you don't know about Shiner, listen to this. He's a co-owner of TWR with me, and he's our operating coup, but basically, and this is me responding, but all this information is true, guys. He was literally, back in the day, one of those wolf on Wall Streets, okay? He was an old stockbroker. He is quite literally a 7-figure mentor. 35 years in the game, trading. He is a wealth of knowledge, and I would argue to say that we have one of the most experienced traders on the platform of any of the popular Discord type of trading platforms. And you know, to be honest, and I said this jokingly, but I truly meant he probably should be up there, you know, chopping it up on CNBC with Jim Cramer and the rest of those guys. But he's over here making moves like a boss with TWR. So show some love and give a shout out to Shiner, my co-owner and my coup. Man, much love to you, and I appreciate everything that you do on the server, and so do our members. Alert update. Kind of a light day for me. We went ahead and did a SPY trade. We did this 396 put, 5 May. We entered at 25. We ended up trimming out at 40. And we went ahead and secured profits on one of our gamble swing trades. We did the ATVI put, and this definitely paid off, guys. We went in at 21 cents, and this thing today absolutely just skyrocketed, and we were able to come out at 137. And that right there is what I call taking things to the bank. And I got to highlight this trade from TLM, okay? He went ahead and caught the runner on an AMD call. This 83 call of tomorrow's expiration got in cheap, 73 cents. Well, you know, 73 cents is an option contract, times that by 100, $73 for the contract. But this thing absolutely skyrocketed. Look at this thing. This thing rolled all the way to 7, guys. 73 to 7. And you trimmed out at 5. You bring that stop loss above break even, way above break even. Guys, that is taking things to another level type of trade. And you only get those daily on TWR, baby. $100 to $1,000 per day is possible as a Traders War Room market warrior. So quit wasting that money that's not making money and join TWR today. All links are in the description. Hot off the press. Top news, Apple, the general, ended up getting some good results on their earnings. Now, this didn't move so spectacularly, kind of went a little slow, picked up some steam in after hours, so we'll see what happens in pre-market. Sometimes guidance and just the idea of being so reliant on China is kind of something that has a lot of investors worried about this stock moving forward. A lot of people will probably think about taking profits around this 169, 170 area, and it could drive some pressure on the stock to go lower. We do have active puts on it. They were Lotto trades, but we'll see what ended up happening at the bell tomorrow. And if we make a strategic move, of course, you know that we'll go ahead and push out that alert on the TWR platforms. Icon goes ahead and makes a public statement about the liquidity issues of his empire. You know, he had a Hindenburg short research study done on him, and it drove some prices down. But he came back and was just like, you know what? Hey, I've been a boss of this thing for so long. We don't have a liquidity problem. Everything's good to go. And this is just one of those short sellers trying to dig up, while the sentiment is so unstable in the market, trying to get that fear so that they can be greedy. So he goes ahead, comes out there, his stock rallies, and he's going to go ahead and pay $2 a unit. Says it does not have a liquidity problem. The reason I'm showing you this is that we're seeing a lot of these short stories, short DDs coming out from these research firms, and there's a lot of information that's being pushed, and not all of it is factual. But since the fear is in the marketplace because of the uncertainty, you get a lot of dramatic pushes. So just be careful when you're riding these waves, because just as fast as they go down, they can jump twice as fast up from being on the other side of it. And then you saw that news about AMD. Of course, Microsoft is talking about financing their chip, artificial intelligent chip things, which is fantastic for AMD. Could be a little, dip for Microsoft. We got a chart on Microsoft here in a second because they're going to be spending some money, but definitely gave a lot of bullish push on AMD, and AMD took off like a rocket ship. And Carvana, this was interesting. Carvana narrows its loss, and it's kind of showing that, the used car buying is back in the market again, which kind of goes to the sentiment of the consumer, because while everything is crunching and interest rates are crunching and stuff like that, people are penny pinching and are not trying to go out there and buying new cars. Okay, they're trying to get used cars, and Carvana is one of those places that is easily accessible on the internet. They got a huge inventory and probably will be just fine. And we got their chart as well. Hot trends. All right, so your market direction, of course, was bearish. Your leader index is the triple Q. The market momentum, mainly because of Apple, is bullish, and the hottest sector right now was real estate. Here's your SPY, ended up flat on the day and actually went down a little bit lower after market. It trades 15 minutes after hours on the most, brokers and stuff like that. Actually lowered a little bit from where it closed. The Q, and if Apple stays elevated tomorrow, you'll probably see the Q get a nice little push. Also on the SPY too, because the SPY has Apple as one of the main components. But definitely, if Apple can hold these gains, you'll probably see a nice little push on the Q, and some of the other tech sectors may get some rotating money back into them, as people will feel okay about the technology sector as a whole, because the general is still leading the troops. And the IWM was pretty flat as well, so we'll be watching this and seeing what happens with this one. Here's your market overview, and as you can see, pretty much all of the big names were down a lot, and even the big names that were green, they weren't bright green, okay? They barely were green, so the market really struggled today to find a direction. Biggest gainers, Shop absolutely destroyed it. Datadog destroyed it. Snow was killing it as well. AMD, of course, hit that and just took off like a madman. So we'll be watching those definitely tomorrow, see if we get continuation or if we get a little bit of pullback, because they had such a bullish run today. A lot of the bank sectors sold off, and QCOM was the one thing that had a lot of people worried about Apple because of the chip and the guidance that they gave, because they did a beat on earnings, but the guidance was very not bullish at all. So we'll be paying attention to QCOM. They could definitely see a little push in that because of Apple. Also, we have a lot of the bank stocks that are just really suffering right now. So we're going to pay attention to the bank stocks, because this is volatility that can create these dramatic moves that we like and make a lot of money. So with the bank stocks, you got to be quick, Johnny on the spot. So if you get into one of these bank stocks, don't take your eyes off the stock, man. You got to be able to watch it, because it can reverse, jump, and dump in a blink of an eye. Sector rotation, everything's starting to trend to the downside, of course. We got pretty much at the top right there is utilities and healthcare. Those are seen as a little bit safer than some of the others, but definitely downtrending, and it's not looking good with market sentiment overall. Apple is a great example of, stocks doing the right thing. However, is it enough to get the entire market moving in the bullish direction? I don't know, man. We got a lot of downtrending pressure and we got a lot of downtrending sentiment out there and unknown about the future in the market. Sector performance, real estate was the highest, with utilities coming in second, communication services and financials coming in at the laggers. Predictions on the market, 68% of people think that SPY is bullish, 73% think that TEX is bullish, and we got 67% that think the IWM is bullish as well. So there's your market predictions. We'll see what ends up happening and how we close this week. Large insider transactions to the buy zone. What we like about the insider transactions is that this is showing sentiment in different stocks of insiders purchasing more. Now, it could just be a normal routine purchase, or it could be because they anticipate some sort of dramatic move in the near future. So definitely paying attention to these buys, because a lot of these are big money people putting a lot of money into these tickers. And just like a buy being bullish for the stock, we're paying attention to the sells, okay? When you got large inside transactions to the sell side, usually you start to see some stuff happening, okay? Stocks are usually... Now, sometimes it's just because they're trying to just get some liquidity, they're trying to take some profits, so on and so forth. But a lot of times, especially in the uncertainty of the market, it's usually a forewarning to some possible signs of issues with particular tickers. So definitely paying attention to it. Here's your flow, calls versus puts, looking a lot more bullish than bearish, at least on the flow side of the house. ET's up there, SPY's up there, Apple, AMD, Tesla. And then on the put side of the house, of course, we got Tesla, IWM, SPY, and HYG leading the way. Dark pools, SPY, Apple, and Microsoft. And I'm actually surprised that we didn't have the Qs in second place. Normally it's SPY, the Qs, and then the individual tickers, but we actually got a whole bunch of dark pool trades over there with Apple and Microsoft. So that's kind of unusual to see on the dark pool market. So it'll be interesting to see what both of those stocks do come the bell ringing tomorrow. Unusual options, and what we like about the unusual options is this gives us ideas on different tickers to look at and kind of thought-provoking content like, why was this big money buyer or seller going into this particular trade? What do they know that we don't know? And it could give some forewarning to a potential move that could make some dramatic pushes in the underlying asset, creating some big money for us. Highest IV, and of course, this is what drives those dramatic push, okay? Implied volatility is what drives the price. Of course, you got a lot of the regional banks on there. You got EOS, the Pac West one. That one is definitely high visibility and high implied volatility because it's just been beat up so much. So that's why we like the implied volatility, because it can give us the ideas for different tickers that are, poised to make a dramatic push either to the upside or to downside. This is open interest change, and this covers both the calls and the puts open interest change. And what we like about this is when open interest changes in a particular direction, it's usually signaling a sentiment switch. So open interest is bullish when the open interest on a particular contract, either a call or a put, is high, because that means a lot of people are expecting more continuation into the direction of the trade. When it becomes bearish, people are closing out their contracts. They're setting those levels where they're not open into the contract. They're looking to take profits, and that can signal that, they're not too convinced with the direction, and they're looking to go ahead and secure profits ASAP. Here's your max volume, the highest volume of the tickers that were out there. Of course, you got the SQs, the AMD TQs, and you got some of those other tickers that always are up there. Pac West, UXE, Tesla, SPY, Shop, a lot of the same tickers that are always high volume, but they're showing some of that potential push and direction along with the stock. And this is unusual volume, okay? And what we like about unusual volume is it's showing either a spike or a decline on a particular asset that is normally trading at a certain level. So typically you see this a lot more in bullish type sentiments, where you see a lot of action coming, you get a volume spike, and then, the stock tries to run, right? But it can also work on reverse, especially if you get a volume strike up. A lot of volume comes in that is not normally there. The price jumps, and then people start to sell off, and you get a lot of volume going both ways. So we try to, these are good to catch the runs and also play the reversals at the top. Stocks that have the golden cross, and what we like about the golden cross is just using moving averages, okay? We got a short moving average moving bullishly through a long moving average to the top and usually signaling a potential of continuation to the upside. And if you got the golden cross, of course, you got the death cross, and it's the exact opposite, okay? The short moving average crosses to the downside of the longer moving average, signaling potential of continuation to the downside. Stocks I like. Activate your 2-day trial of TWR All Access on the Discord platform. Here's how the alerts will go. Purple line, that's the bow zone. That's where the fight is going to happen at. And then the blue line, on a break from the battle zone, that's where we're looking for follow through to the bull side. And the red line is going to be follow through to the red side. First up, of course, is Apple. Battle zone, of course, is in the purple. They did do well on their earnings. The guidance is what's going to be key, and we'll see if the retail investors mess this up in pre-market and start driving the price down. So we got our triggers for continuation to the upside and continuation to the downside. We do have active puts on here, but if we start to see the momentum to the outside and look like we want to break to the top, we'll go ahead and switch those to calls to cover the difference and hopefully make some dramatic money off of a bullish push to the upside. Carvana, now again, definitely had decent earnings, but when you see stocks like this, and specifically the ones that have been beat up so much, it already puts those little light bulbs in my head thinking pullback, okay? So if we get the push to the upside, yes, we'll go ahead and follow a continuation. We could easily see 10, maybe even $11, but I would think that we probably push a little bit higher up. People are going to go ahead and profit take because they've been in this since it was like around 6. They're going to take their money, and we'll start to get the pullback, which could drive us back towards the $8 and $7 range. Coin did fairly well on their earnings, and it pushed to the upside. This one likes to run, and it likes to run fast. So I could easily see this getting some momentum underneath its wings, especially while the market is uncertain about normal equities, and they're looking for a safer option to get into the crypto exchange. They go to coin. I could see this breaking to the upside and running fairly well and looking to go ahead and make some recent new highs. DraftKings, this thing took off like a rocket. And one thing I worry about DraftKings, though, DraftKings definitely likes to run hard and then it pulls back. So I could see people taking profits on this thing. We could easily push to the $24, $25 range, but I would think that we hit some serious resistance and people will profit take. This is one of those stocks that people like to trade and are not so much looking to invest in this long term, specifically right now while the unstable economy is around us. So I would look for this one to run a little bit more to the upside and pull back probably. So I'll be looking to go ahead and get in some puts on this one. Square had a decent earnings call. They definitely took off and skyrocketed and then pulled back very sharply, okay? So that usually tells me you got some buyer's exhaustion, some worrisome about the financial sector, specifically the fintech. And I got a feeling that we'll probably get a little bit more of a push, and then we'll probably cool down and look to kind of see some of those, lower lows right there. And finally, I got Microsoft for you. Okay, we got a nice little consolidation pattern right here, and I love these rectangles, okay? Now, we got our trigger lines right there based off the rectangle. We break to the upside. I don't have a level to give you with a break to the upside, okay? Microsoft is just running on its own, okay? The AI thing, all that type of stuff. However, I do think that we'll probably break to the downside on this one to cool off a little bit. People will take a little bit of profits as the AI is kind of, got some government oversight, looking into it and stuff like that. So I think that we cool down a little bit. People start to take some profits, bring, Microsoft down a little bit, and probably will look to go back into Microsoft long at a little bit cheaper discount. So I could see Microsoft pulling back below 300 relatively soon and probably finding that support around that 295 area. Upcoming events. Traders War Room is your one-stop shop. try our TWR one-to-one mentoring. Does the market have you feeling like this, or wanting to rip your hair out while you watch your account dwindle? If that's you, then Traders War Room has you covered. Our one-to-ones focus on you as a trader or investor. The Zoom session connects you with a TWR professional. Whether we're covering charts, developing a plan of attack, or being strategic and deep diving on the how, why, and execution of trade plans, TWR one-to-ones will give you the confidence to attack, conquer, destroy, and make the market bend the knee in 2023. Join TWR and bow to no one. Book your session today. The link is in the description or on the website at traderswarroom.com. Let's go to war. Tired of all the dings and pings on your current trading platform and feeling overwhelmed? No need to have that, guys. Check out TWR Instant Message Alerts. Less noise, just alerts. Guys, if you are tired of all the dings and pings interrupting your trading session, or you're just feeling overwhelmed because there's just too much information, okay, we got a simpler fix for you. Check it out. We send out alerts. 2 channels. You got a chat channel and you got an alerts channel, and all you're going to get is high quality trade signals and alerts. And definitely, if you are interested in this because you're currently feeling overwhelmed or you've had a bit of downward progression in your trading style, come over and check us out, try it out, and see if this works for you, getting you back on track, okay? The link is in the description, or you can always DM me or hit me up in an email if you want more information. But definitely, TWR Instant Message Alerts are less noise, just alerts, just for you. Activate your 2-day trial of TWR All Access on the Discord platform. We cover it all at Traders War Room, whether you're looking for stocks, options, futures, Forex, crypto, or even sports betting, or you want real-time alerts, live trading, algo signals, or even if you just want to be part of a community of like-minded investors to grow, learn, and share together as a team. Something for everyone at Traders War Room. Activate your 2-day trial today and go to war with TWR. Make the market bend the knee in 2023. Join Traders War Room and bow to no one. Let's go to war.